Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm so excited to be here to share with you a little review about The Untethered Soul. Fantastic book by Michael A. Singer. His other book, The Surrender Experiment, was one of my favorite books. Wow, did it ever change my life in terms of surrendering to what is showing up in your life. This book is phenomenal as well. And so we're going to talk today about a few different pages. I want to read a few different paragraphs within this book and have a little discussion with you. First of all, I want to talk about the fact that chapter number 1 is titled Awakening Consciousness. Awakening Consciousness. Can you see that? What is consciousness? What is consciousness? And why is it important to awaken consciousness? Well, I once heard this amazing analogy, and I'm going to share it with you. And it's all about taking a piece of paper, right? A piece of paper, and rolling this piece of paper and looking through the piece of paper, right? So you can imagine as you roll through this piece of paper, I can just see what's outside, what's on the perimeter of this piece of paper. So right now I see myself looking through this piece of paper, and I see a few things behind me. I see there's a Buddha behind me. I see there's a jar full of money above me, and I see a candle. So that's all I see right now, and what looks like a box. So my truth right now is that this is the only thing that's in and around me right now. That is my truth right now in this consciousness. Let's pretend this is a consciousness. And then as we open up and grow our consciousness, I'm starting to see more. I'm like, oh my goodness, there's some flowers. There's a bunch of books behind me. Seems like there's a curtain and a window to my left. I grow my consciousness, raise my consciousness. Oh my goodness, look at this. I'm actually on a computer. I see myself on a computer screen. And now I see myself in a room, and now I remove the paper, full open enlightenment and consciousness. I see that I'm actually in a room. I see that there's outside, that I'm inside a house. I see so much more around me. And so consciousness is seeing what's in front of you based on what you are able to see, the limitation of the consciousness, like we talked about, that little circle, let's say. So everybody at different consciousnesses have different truths, right? When I was only looking through that paper, I only saw the Buddha, and that my truth was that there was a Buddha next to me, and that's it. But people with different enlightenment, different consciousnesses could see the flowers. They would say, there's a flower there. I would say, no, there is no flower there. There's only the Buddha. And that was my truth, and that was their truth as well. We all see different things. So when we expand our consciousness more and more and more, that's where we can really start to see more of why we're here, more of this world, more of the purpose of this world, more of who we have always been, and what our purpose is in this world. So I love to use that analogy. And I want to read this to you from chapter 4. The very first page. It says, the distinction is exactly the difference between being aware that you are aware in your daily life and not being aware that you are aware. When you are an aware being, you no longer become completely immersed in the events around you. Instead, you remain inwardly aware that you are the one who is experiencing both the events and the corresponding thoughts and emotions. When a thought is created in this state of awareness, instead of getting lost in it, you remain aware that you are the one who is thinking the thought. You are lucid. When you contemplate, page 37, the nature of self, you are meditating. That is why meditation is the highest state. It is the return to the root of your being, the simple awareness of being aware. Once you become conscious of the consciousness itself, you attain a totally different state. You are now aware of who you are. You have become an awakened being. Awareness, right? Awareness, consciousness, awareness. The most important thing, page 47, in your life is your inner energy. If you're always tired and never enthused, then life is no fun. But if you're always inspired and filled with energy, so I'm just gonna make sure no one's in the waiting room. then every minute of every day is an exciting experience. Learn to work with these things through meditation, through awareness and willful efforts. You can learn to keep your centers open. You do this by just relaxing and releasing. You do this by not buying into the concept that there is anything worth closing over. Remember, if you love life, nothing is worth closing over. Never, ever is worth. Nothing ever is worth closing your heart over. Wow. So beautiful. I'm just going to keep flipping here. There's a couple of other pages I want to read. Basically, the sections that were the most exciting and wonderful for me. Pain, the price of freedom. Page or chapter 11. Isn't that interesting? Chapter 11 is all about pain, which is the price of freedom. Reframing how we look at pain and how we accept pain in our life. One of the essential requirements for true spiritual growth and deep personal transformation is coming to peace with pain. The heart is where pain comes from. You have this core of pain deep in your heart. Your personality traits and behavior patterns are all about avoiding the pain. You must look inside yourself and determine that from now on, pain is not a problem. It is just a thing in the universe. Somebody can say something to you that can cause your heart to react and catch fire, but then it passes. It's a temporary experience. Most people can hardly imagine what it would look like to be at peace with inner disturbance. But if you do not learn to be comfortable with it, you will devote your life to avoiding it. If you feel insecurity, it's just a feeling. You can handle a feeling. If you feel embarrassed, it's just a feeling. It's just part of creation. If you feel jealousy and your heart burns, just look at it objectively, like you would a mild bruise. It's a thing in the universe that is passing through your system. Laugh at it, have fun with it, but don't be afraid of it. It cannot touch you unless you touch it. Sometimes you will notice that it feels hot inside as pain passes. In fact, as you relax into the energy of the pain, you may feel tremendous heat in your heart. This is the pain being purified from your heart. Learn to enjoy that burning. It is called the fire of yoga. It does not seem enjoyable, but you will learn to enjoy it because it is freeing you. In truth, pain is the price of freedom. Fabulous. And just before we end, I have one other section in this book that I loved so much, all about death. Okay, mind blowing. Are you ready? Wow. Talk about elevating your consciousness, these types of books, right? Raising that consciousness, seeing things differently from a new, elevated, expanded, new place and awareness where you see more of what life is really all about, which is where we come from. We come from that oneness. So how can you get more and more closer to that oneness? And so here we go, chapter 17, Contemplating Death. It is truly a great cosmic paradox that one of the best teachers of all life turns out to be death. Let me just read here. Also, what if you knew this evening would be the last time you'd get to see certain people in your life? Imagine that an angel comes down and tells you, straighten up your affairs. You will not awake from your sleep tonight. You're coming to me. Then you'd know that every person you see that day, you'd be seeing for the last time. How would you feel? How would you interact with them? How would you bother with the little grudges and complaints you've been carrying around? How much love could you give the ones you love, knowing it would be the last time you're going to be with them? Think about that. Think about what it would be like if you lived like that every moment with everyone. Your life would be really different. You should contemplate this. Death is not a morbid thought. Death is the greatest teacher in all of life. You have to be willing to look at what it would be like if death was staring at you in the face. Then you have to come to peace with yourself so that it doesn't make any difference whether it is coming or not. Let me just see here. There's another beautiful section. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Page 162. I love this. That's why death is such a great teacher. It is death that makes life precious. Look how precious life becomes when you imagine you only have a week left to live. How precious would life be if there was no such thing as death? You'd waste every second of it because you'd figure you'd always have it. Think of those superhero movies, the ones who live forever. They're usually depressed because they live forever. Isn't it amazing? I remember just hearing about that the other day. I don't usually watch these superhero movies, but um, it's typically the character of the superhero who lives forever. So actually, death actually gives meaning to life. Death is your friend. Death is your liberator. For God's sake, do not be afraid of death. Try to learn what it's saying to you. The highest way to learn is to take each moment of your life and realize that what matters is to live it fully. If you live each moment completely, you will have a fuller life and you will not have to fear death. You fear death because you crave life. You fear death because you think there's something to get that you haven't experienced yet. Many people feel that death will take something away from them. The wise person realizes that death is constantly giving them something. Death is giving meaning to your life. Wow. You're the one who throws your life away. You waste every second of it. You get in your car, drive from here to there, and you don't see anything. You're not even there. You're busy thinking about what you're going to do next. You're a month ahead of yourself, or even a year. You're not living life. You're a living mind. So it is you who throws your life away, not death. Death actually helps you to get life back by making you pay attention to the moment. It makes you say, my God, I'm going to lose this. I'm going to lose my children. This could be the last time I'll see them. From now on, I'm going to pay more attention to them and to my spouse and to all my friends and loved ones. I want to get so much out of my life. If you are living every experience fully, then death doesn't take anything from you. There's nothing to take because you're already fulfilled. That's why the wise being is always ready to die. It doesn't make any difference when death comes because their experience is already whole and complete. Oh my goodness. So much more in this gorgeous book to share with you, but I wanted to share with you just those highlights. Wow, I love you all. I want to wish you all a fabulous rest of your day, rest of the week, rest of the month, rest of the year. Remember to be present. That is the biggest gift of all. Life is always in the present moment. And finally, may all beings be blessed, be happy, be loved, and be free. I love you all. Bye-bye. Oh, by the way, share your comments below if you read this book, or even if you haven't. What's going on in your mind as you've been listening to this video? Please share and interact with me. I'd love it. And for others too who are reading.